The rain hammered the roof of the old Victorian house in suburban Cleveland like fists on a coffin lid, drowning out the sobs that racked Everly's body as she knelt on the splintered attic floor. Her brother's voice thundered from below, a venomous roar that shattered the fragile world she'd built in secret kisses and whispered promises with Mia, the girl next door whose touch had finally made her feel alive. In that instant, as the attic door flew open and Harlan's shadow swallowed the light, Everly knew her truth would cost her everything, her home, her future, even the brother she'd once idolized. Everly was 17, all sharp edges and hidden fire, with auburn hair that tangled like her thoughts and eyes that held the stormy green of Lake Erie. She'd grown up in that creaky house on Elm Street, where the scent of her mother's apple pie lingered like a ghost and her father's laughter echoed from faded Polaroids. Harlan, 3 years older, had always been her shield, tall, broad-shouldered, with a jaw like carved granite and a protective streak that made him the neighborhood king. He chased off bullies in grade school, taught her to throw a curveball in the backyard, and promised, hand on heart, that he'd always have her back. But that rainy Tuesday in October, as thunder cracked the sky, those promises curdled into betrayal. It started innocently enough, or so Everly told herself later, in the haze of denial. Mia Ramirez lived 2 doors down, a transfer student from Texas with sun-kissed skin, raven hair that fell in waves, and a laugh that cut through Everly's loneliness like sunlight through fog. They met in junior year English, bonding over dog-eared copies of The Bell Jar, trading notes on Sylvia Plath's rage against the cage of expectations. Mia saw Everly, the real one, not the dutiful daughter playing pretend for her conservative parents. Their first real conversation happened after school, huddled under the bleachers during a freak downpour, Mia's knee brushing Everly's in a spark that neither could ignore. "You're not like the others," Mia had said, her dark eyes locking on Everly's with an intensity that made her stomach flip. "You see the cracks in everything. That's brave." Everly had blushed, mumbling something about poetry being her escape, but inside, a dam broke. For the first time, she felt seen, not as Harlan's little sister or her parents' golden girl, but as herself, curious, aching, alive with questions she couldn't voice. They started meeting in secret, late-night texts that evolved into stolen moments in Mia's basement, hands tentative at first, then urgent, exploring the soft curves and hidden vulnerabilities that textbooks never mentioned. Everly's heart raced with terror and thrill, each kiss a rebellion against the straight-laced world of church picnics and family barbecues. But secrets in a small town like theirs were fragile as tissue paper. Harlan found out by accident, or maybe not. Everly had left her phone on the kitchen counter, a single photo peeking from the gallery, her and Mia, arms wrapped around each other at the county fair, Ferris wheel lights blurring behind them like distant stars. She'd meant to delete it, but exhaustion from double shifts at the diner had won out. Harlan, home early from community college, picked it up out of idle curiosity. The screen lit his face in cold blue, and when Everly came down for water, she froze at the fury in his eyes. "What the hell is this?" His voice was low, lethal, the kind that made dogs whimper. He thrust the phone at her, the image glaring like an accusation. Everly's mouth went dry. "It's nothing. Just friends." "Friends." Harlan's laugh was bitter, devoid of humor. He scrolled, his face paling then reddening as more photos emerged, innocent at first, then intimate. A hand on a thigh, lips brushing in shadow. "This is sick, Ev. You're my sister. Our family." Dad would roll in his grave. Their father had died 2 years prior, a heart attack that left the house echoing with absence. Mom, fragile as porcelain, had retreated into grief and scripture, quoting Leviticus at dinner like a shield against the world's cruelties. Everly had shouldered the silence, becoming the perfect daughter to fill the void. But now, Harlan's words sliced deeper than any loss. "It's not sick," she whispered, voice trembling. "It's me, Harlan. This is who I am." He recoiled as if slapped. "No. You're confused. Some phase from those damn books you read. Or that girl poisoning you." He paced the kitchen, fists clenched, the veins in his neck bulging like rivers about to flood. Everly backed away, heart pounding, but he grabbed her arm. Not hard enough to bruise, but firm enough to trap. "You think Mom can handle this? After Dad? We're all she's got left." Tears stung Everly's eyes, but she jerked free. "I didn't choose this. I just love her." "Love." He spat the word like venom. "This isn't love. It's a mistake that'll destroy us all." The argument escalated, voices rising until Mom appeared in her robe, confusion etching her face. Harlan didn't hesitate. He spilled it all, framing it as Everly's deviance, a stain on their family's honor. Mom's gasp was a knife twist. She clutched her cross necklace, whispering prayers as if Everly were possessed. By dawn, the decision was made, not in words but in actions. Harlan took charge, his protectiveness twisted into control. He convinced Mom that Everly needed help. Conversion therapy pamphlets appeared on the counter, sessions booked in Columbus. But Everly refused, barricading herself in her room, Mia's texts her only lifeline. The breaking point came a week later, when Harlan found Mia's hoodie in Everly's backpack, monogrammed with a tiny rainbow patch. "You brought this filth into our home?" he bellowed, tearing the fabric in half. Everly lunged for it, but he shoved her back, eyes wild. "Get out, both of you, before you drag us to hell." Mom, tears streaming, sided with him. Fear of scandal in their tight-knit Baptist community overriding maternal instinct. They packed Everly's bags that night, Harlan rifling through drawers, confiscating anything tainted, her journals filled with poetry about Mia, the silver bracelet she'd saved from Tips, even the family heirloom locket from Grandma. "This isn't yours anymore," he said, voice flat as he pocketed it. "Not while you're choosing this." Perversion. Everly stood in the driveway, rain soaking her through, backpack slung over one shoulder, Mia waiting in her beat-up Corolla, with headlights cutting the dark. Harlan watched from the porch, arms crossed, Mom beside him like a shadow. "Don't come back until you're fixed," he called, the words a final severing. As the car pulled away, Everly pressed her forehead to the cool glass, watching the house shrink in the rearview, the only home she'd known, stolen in a night of rage. Mia reached for her hand, fingers interlacing in silent promise. "We'll make it," Mia murmured. "Together." But together proved harder than either imagined. They crashed on Mia's couch, her parents sympathetic but strained, divorced Mexican immigrants who'd fled their own judgments, yet whispers of phase hung in the air. Everly dropped out of high school, GED in hand by spring, scraping by with waitressing gigs while Mia finished senior year. Nights blurred into shared dreams, college brochures pored over by flashlight, fantasies of a life where love wasn't a crime. Yet the theft lingered like a bruise. Harlan hadn't just taken her things. He'd erased her from the family ledger. Christmas cards arrived addressed to the Ramirez family, Everly's name omitted. Mom's calls dwindled to silence, Harlan's influence a chokehold. Everly wrote letters raw, pleading missives about her heart, not a choice but a truth, but they went unanswered, returned unopened. Summer brought fracture. Mia's dad lost his factory job, forcing a move to Akron for cheaper rent. "It's temporary," Mia promised, but distance gnawed. Phone calls turned curt, visits strained by Everly's growing shadows. Nights she woke screaming from dreams of Harlan's face twisted in disgust. "I can't breathe here without you," Everly confessed one humid July evening, but Mia's voice cracked with her own burdens. "I'm sorry, Ev. I love you, but we need space to grow." The breakup was gentle, a mercy killing, but it hollowed Everly out. She wandered Cleveland streets, neon signs blurring through tears, sleeping in shelters when rent lapsed. Pride parades became her church, rainbow flags a banner of survival, but isolation crept in. At 19, She met Jordan at a coffee shop open mic, tall, androgynous with cropped black hair and a tattoo of intertwined vines on her forearm, reciting spoken word about queer invisibility. Jordan saw Everly's fire dimmed, but not extinguished. "You've got a story," she said after Everly's shaky poem about lost siblings. "Let me help you tell it." They fell into rhythm, Jordan's steady hand guiding Everly through community college night classes, her artist's loft a sanctuary of canvases and candlelight. Their love was quieter than with Mia, less fireworks, more hearth, but it mended cracks. Jordan taught Everly to paint her pain, strokes of crimson for betrayal, indigo for longing. By 22, Everly graduated with an associate's in graphic design, landing a freelance gig at a small LGBTQ+ advocacy firm in downtown Cleveland. She built a life thread by thread, a tiny apartment overlooking the Cuyahoga River, walls lined with Jordan's art and photos of pride floats. Harlan's shadow faded to a dull ache, buried under achievements, a promotion, a published article on family rejection in Curve magazine. Mom sent a birthday card once and signed, but Everly framed it anyway, a talisman of what might be. Then, at 25, the call came. Unknown number, a social worker's voice clipped and urgent. "Ms. Harper? Your brother's in Mercy Hospital. Liver failure. He's asking for you." Everly's world tilted. Harlan, invincible Harlan, reduced to a hospital bed? She gripped the phone, Jordan's arms wrapping around her from behind. "What do you want to do?" Jordan whispered. Everly stared at the locket replica she'd bought years ago, a cheap knockoff, but it held her heart. "I don't know. He took everything." But as details trickled in, alcoholism from the family hardware store's collapse, a divorce that left him hollow, the pull strengthened. Harlan had stolen her beginnings, but could she let him die without reclaiming the end? She flew to Cleveland General. No, drove, the familiar highway unspooling like a wound reopening. The hospital smelled of antiseptic and regret, fluorescent lights buzzing like angry bees. Harlan lay in room 312, jaundiced skin stretched over bones, monitors beeping a dirge. Mom sat beside him, older, grayer, her eyes widening at Everly's entrance. "Evie." Mom's voice cracked, hand fluttering like a trapped bird. Harlan stirred, eyes focusing with effort. "You came." Everly stood frozen, the weight of years crashing down. "Heard you needed saving." The room thickened with unspoken sins. Harlan's confession came in rasps. The store bankrupt after Dad's death, debts mounting, his rage at Everly a scapegoat for his failures. "I thought protecting the family meant erasing you. God, I was wrong. So damn wrong." Tears carved paths down his cheeks, mirroring Everly's own. Mom reached for her, apologies tumbling like prayers long withheld. "We were scared, baby, of losing you to the world, not seeing your truth." Forgiveness didn't come easy. It never does in stories like theirs. But as Harlan weakened, transplant list looming like a guillotine, Everly faced the impossible. His only match was her, but surgery meant months off work, bills stacking like accusations. No, the real cost was her life rebuilt. To fund the experimental treatment abroad, insurance balking at his history, she'd have to sell it all. The apartment, Jordan's shared dreams, the firm partnership she'd clawed for. Jordan held her that night, city lights flickering beyond the window. "You don't owe him this," she said, voice fierce with love. "But if you do, I'll be here, building it back with you." Everly chose. The paper signed in dawn's gray light, loft listed, designs auctioned, savings drained. "For the girl I was," she told the realtor, "and the brother who might become." The flight to Zurich was turbulent, Harlan medicated beside her, their hands clasped in uneasy truce. En route, stories spilled, his hidden regrets, her triumphs in the margins he'd scorned. "I envied you," he admitted over in-flight coffee. "Your courage to love fierce. I played it safe, lost everything anyway." In the sterile clinic, as surgeons prepped, Everly kissed his forehead, the locket, her original, returned by Mom in a tearful handover, cool against her skin. "We're even now," she whispered. "But family? That's not stolen. It's chosen." Recovery blurred into months of rehab in a rented Swiss chalet, snow-capped Alps a ironic backdrop to healing. Jordan flew over, her presence a anchor, their love deepening in quiet evenings by the fire, kisses tasting of second chances, bodies entwined like vines reclaiming stone. Harlan watched, tentative smiles cracking his facade, sharing laughs over board games that echoed childhood. Back in Cleveland by spring, Everly started over. A shared studio with Jordan, freelance gigs blooming from old contacts. The firm welcomed her return with open arms, her story inspiring a new campaign on queer family reconciliation. Harlan, sober and humbled, joined AA meetings. His hardware shop revived as a community co-op. Mom hosted Sunday dinners, awkward at first, then warm. Everly bringing Jordan, hands linked openly, toasts raised to truths unearthed. One evening, as fireflies danced in the backyard, the same yard of curveballs and secrets, Harlan pulled Everly aside. "I stole your start, sis. But you gave me mine back."
"How?"
She smiled, Jordan's laughter mingling with Mom's from the porch. "Love doesn't keep score. It just saves." In that moment, under the Ohio stars, Everly felt whole, not despite the scars, but because of them. Her brother's theft had forged her resilience, her sacrifice, their redemption. And in Jordan's eyes, reflecting firefly light, she saw the endless romance of a life reclaimed, fierce, unapologetic, eternally hers. Everly's first winter without the Harper home was a brutal teacher, wind off the lake slicing through threadbare coats as she trudged to the diner's early shift. The apartment she shared with Mia was a shoebox above a laundromat, walls thin enough to hear neighbors' arguments and the constant hum of dryers like a mechanical lullaby. At 17, freedom tasted like ash, bitter with loss, sharp with the thrill of autonomy. Mia, ever the optimist, plastered posters of Frida Kahlo and Audre Lorde on the peeling paint, declaring it our revolution headquarters. But revolutions require fuel, and theirs ran low fast. Everly's tips bought ramen and thrift store jeans, but pride swelled when she enrolled in night school for her GED. "You're unstoppable," Mia would say, braiding Everly's hair by candlelight to save on electricity, her fingers gentle as they traced the nape of Everly's neck. Those nights, tangled in sheets that smelled of lavender soap and youthful sweat, were sacraments. Mia's body was a map Everly memorized, the constellation of moles on her hip, the way her breath hitched when Everly's lips found the hollow of her throat. "Te amo," Mia murmured in the afterglow, Spanish rolling off her tongue like honey, teaching Everly fragments of a language as fluid as their love. Yet doubt crept in with the frost. Harlan's absence was a phantom limb, aching in quiet moments. Everly dreamed of him, not the monster of that rainy night, but the boy who'd built forts from couch cushions, whispering tales of knights and dragons. She'd wake gasping, Mia's arms at insufficient balm. "He'll come around," Mia promised, but Everly knew better. A letter arrived in November, postmarked from home, Mom's handwriting shaky. "We're praying for your soul, Evelyn. Come back when you're ready to be our girl again." No mention of love, only salvation. Christmas was a makeshift affair, a string of chili pepper lights from Mia's mom, tamales wrapped in corn husks, and a shared blanket fort where they exchanged promises instead of gifts. "I'll get a scholarship to Oberlin," Everly vowed, sketching logos for imaginary design firms. "We'll have a place with a view, windows open to the world." Mia's kiss sealed it, soft and sure, but by New Year's, the fault line showed. Mia's parents, Rosa and Carlos, were saints in threadbare circumstances. Rosa's seamstress hands mending Everly's hems without question, Carlos sharing stories of border crossings over Pozole. But whispers filtered through. Church friends raising eyebrows at the special friend sleeping over. "It's not forever," Rosa said one evening, her eyes kind but firm as she handed Everly a thermos of coffee. "Mija, life's long. You girls need roots." The move to Akron hit like a freight train. Mia's dad secured warehouse work, the family packing U-Hauls under a January sky heavy with sleet. Everly helped load boxes, throat tight, memorizing the curve of Mia's smile as she taped labels. Weekend visits, they swore. But highways stretched, gas money evaporated. Calls turned to texts, texts to silences filled with "I miss you" ghosts. Alone in the laundromat flat, Everly unraveled. She quit the diner for a barista gig at a queer-friendly cafe, the Rainbow Mug, where drag queens sipped lattes and shared coming-out war stories. There, amid steam and soy milk froth, she met Lena, a bar regular with pixie-cut blonde hair, piercings glinting like stars, and a laugh that commanded rooms. Lena was 20, a tattoo apprentice with ink sleeves of phoenixes rising from thorns, her flirtations bold as her eyeliner. "You're too pretty to look so sad," Lena said one slow afternoon, sliding a doodled napkin across the counter, a cartoon Everly as a warrior queen. It cracked Everly's shell. They talked for hours after closing, Lena's tales of foster care runaways mirroring Everly's exile. Their first date was impulsive, pierogies at a Polish joint, then wandering the flats, river winds carrying echoes of steel mills long shuttered. Lena's hand in hers felt different, edgier, electric with possibility. But Mia lingered like a bruise. Everly confessed over pierogies, voice small. "I'm still healing." Lena nodded, no judgment, just a squeeze. "Healing's not linear, babe. It's a spiral. We'll dance in it." They did. Lena introduced Everly to Cleveland's underbelly, poetry slams at Guide Lounge, where words weaponized pain into power, block parties in the warehouse district, bodies swaying to bass under string lights. Their love was kinetic, Lena's apartment a riot of vinyl records and half-finished tattoos, nights spent tracing each other's scars with tongues and fingertips. Everly bloomed under it, her sketches evolving from tentative lines to bold narratives, posters for pride events, capturing the raw beauty of queer joy amid adversity. At 19, with GED in pocket, Everly applied to community college, majoring in visual arts. Lena cheered loudest at graduation, whooping as Everly crossed the stage in cap and gown borrowed from the dean's wife. "My artist's here," Everly whispered later, their celebration a tangle of limbs on a rooftop, city skylines sprawling like a promise kept. Harlan's world, meanwhile, tightened. Mom's letters grew sparse, laced with pleas. "Your brother's struggling, Evie. The store's all we have left." Everly sent money when she could, $20 here, $50 there, and signed, through mutual friends. It was her quiet rebellion, love laundered through anonymity. But resentment simmered. She'd catch herself sketching Harlan's face, then slashing it with red marker, catharsis in charcoal. Lena saw it all, her steadiness a counterpoint to Everly's storms. "Family's not blood," she'd say, inking a delicate chain around Everly's wrist, a tattoo of links unbroken. "It's the ones who stay." They talked marriage one starry night, half joking about Vegas elopements now that Ohio recognized it. Everly's heart swelled, visions of vows exchanged under neon, rings etched with vines like Jordan's. Wait, no, that was later. Lena's touch grounded her now. College brought structure. Lectures on color theory, critiques where professors praised Everly's visceral honesty. She interned at a boutique agency, designing logos for local nonprofits, her style, gritty realism laced with romantic whimsy, catching eyes. Lena proposed a joint tattoo parlor venture, ink and design, where Everly's art met Lena's needle. It felt like destiny, two outcasts forging empire from edges. But edges cut both ways. Lena's past surfaced in bursts, nights she'd vanished to dive bars, returning with whiskey breath and apologies. Demons, she'd mutter, Everly holding her through tremors. Everly understood, her own chased in dreams of rain-slicked driveways. They fought, made up fiercer, love a forged tempering steel. By 21, ink and design launched in a Tremont loft, ribbon-cutting with rainbow confetti and a crowd of queer kin. Everly's designs adorned walls, murals of women entwined in eternal embrace, symbols of resilience. Success tasted sweet. First Profit bought plane tickets to Mia's college in Austin, a closure visit that ended in hugs, not heartbreak. You were my first fire, Everly told her, Mia's eyes misty. Now I'm steady flame. Lena was there at the airport, arms open. Proud of you, she whispered, their kiss a seal on chapters closed. Life aligned. Gallery shows for Everly, Lena's reputation growing with celebrity clients inked in secret symbols. They adopted a rescue mutt, Pixel, who curled between them on stormy nights, a furry mediator. Then, the tremor, a voicemail from Mom, voice frail over static. Harlan's. He's drinking bad, Ev. Lost the store lease. Please. For me. Everly played it on loop, Lena's hand on her knee. Go see him, Lena urged. Not for forgiveness. For you. The drive home was a time machine, suburbs blurring into memory. The house sagged, porch light flickering like a dying star. Harlan answered the door, unshaven, eyes bloodshot. Ev? His voice broke, a ghost of the brother she'd lost. She stepped inside, the scent of stale beer and regret thick. Mom hovered in the kitchen, kettle whistling ignored. No hugs, just words, raw, unfiltered. You broke me, Everly said, voice steady. But I rebuilt. Why can't you? Harlan sank to the couch, head in hands. I thought I was saving us. Turns out, I drowned myself. Tears fell, confessions pouring. The store's debts from bad loans, wife's abandonment blaming his legacy of hate, bottles as escape. Everly listened, heart twisting. Not absolution, but understanding, a bridge's first plank. She left cash for rent, a design contact for job leads, and her number. Call when you're ready to climb out. Back in the loft, Lena waited with wine and wisdom. That was brave. Their lovemaking that night was tender, bodies a language of affirmation, whispers of forever amid gasps. Months passed in rhythm. Everly's first solo exhibit, Exiles and Embraces, selling out with pieces born of that visit, canvases of fractured homes mended by threads of gold. Harlan called sporadically, sobriety a shaky truce. Missed you, kid. He'd slur less, voice clearing. At 23, Everly proposed to Lena under the same bleachers where Mia's knee had sparked her awakening. Ironic, full circle. Will you build this mess with me? Ring simple, silver with engraved vines. Lena's yes was a sob, their engagement party a Tremont block bash, toasts to love's defiance. But fate, that capricious muse, had more twists. The exhibit's buzz landed Everly a spot at a Columbus design firm, relocation looming. Lena balked, her parlor rooted, clients loyal. Long distance. Everly pleaded, but Lena's eyes hardened. We've danced the spiral enough. I need solid ground. Fights escalated, words weapons. Everly's ambition called selfish, Lena's caution called fear. The breakup was seismic. Loft emptied of her things in a weekend. Pixel's leash the last tether snapped. Everly drove to Columbus alone, tears salting the highway, heart a hollow drum. The firm was a whirlwind. Sleek offices, corporate clients, Everly's designs streamlining campaigns for progressive brands. She thrived on surface, happy hours, networking mixers, but nights echoed with absence. Coffee dates fizzled. A fling with a copywriter, Alex, was passion without depth, ending in mutual shrugs. Harlan's progress anchored her. Sober 6 months, he started therapy, mom thawing with weekly calls. He's changing, Evie. Like you always were, strong. At 24, Everly met Jordan at a firm retreat in the Hocking Hills, team-building hikes where vulnerability was the icebreaker. Jordan, lead creative, was a force, 30, with salt and pepper buzz cut, laugh lines framing hazel eyes, her presence calm as ancient oaks. Over campfire esmores, she shared her story, disowned at 16 for dating her best friend, bootstrapping through art school on scholarships and spite. "You wear your scars like jewelry," Jordan said, toasting Everly's mug. It was the spark, conversations deepening over trail mix, Jordan's hand steadying Everly on rocky paths. Their first real date was post-retreat, a gallery in Short North, Columbus's Arts Pulse. Jordan's critiques were insightful, her touch on Everly's elbow electric. "Tell me your truths," she urged over Ethiopian injera, fingers interlacing across the table. Everly did. The theft, the spirals, the slow reclamation. Jordan listened, no pity, just mirrored strength. "I've got my own museum of messes. Let's curate something beautiful." Their romance unfolded like a well-tended garden, weekend getaways to the Shawnee Forest, where they'd hike to overlooks, sharing breaths and secrets. Jordan's loft was minimalist sanctuary, exposed brick, canvases of abstract emotions in muted palettes. Lovemaking was exploratory, Jordan's hands mapping Everly with artist's precision, eliciting sighs that built to symphonies. Harlan visited once, tentative lunch at Schmidt's Sausage House. Awkward silences broken by his gruff, "Proud of you, Ev. This one's a keeper." Jordan's easy charm disarmed him, talk turning to baseball stats and design hacks. By 25, Everly's career peaked. Partner Track, her reclaimed series licensed for a national pride ad campaign. Jordan proposed in the Hocking Hills, same trail, ring a custom band with embedded geodes, raw beauty within. "Forever's not a cage," she said, kneeling in leaf litter. "It's the view we share." Wedding plans woven, small ceremony at a lakeside chapel, vows exchanged under willows, Harlan walking Everly down a petal-strewn aisle, Mom dabbing tears. It was healing incarnate, love's triumph over legacy's chains. Then, the call, Harlan's collapse, liver cirrhotic from years of self-punishment. Everly's world fractured anew, but this time, armed with Jordan's resolve and a heart schooled in sacrifice. The hospital room in Mercy, Cleveland was a sterile cage, beeps and whispers conspiring to underscore fragility. Everly arrived at dusk, the city's sodium glow filtering through blinds like judgmental fingers. Harlan looked spectral, skin sallow as old parchment, eyes sunken in a face once chiseled by confidence. Tubes snaked from arms to machines, a lifeline tethering him to a second chance he might not deserve. Mom rose from the vinyl chair, her embrace frail, scented with lavender and hospital soap. "Oh, Evie," she breathed, as if Everly's presence alone could mend the rift. Harlan's gaze found her, cloudy but sharpening. "Didn't think you'd show." His voice rasped, each word a labor. Everly crossed the threshold, Jordan's hand a warm pressure at her back, silent support, her wife's presence a chosen family bulwark. "Family's complicated," Everly replied, pulling a chair close. "Doesn't mean it's disposable." The social worker, Ms. Patel, a compact woman with kind eyes and a clipboard fortress, outlined the dire end-stage liver disease, accelerated by chronic alcohol abuse post-store foreclosure. "Transplant waitlist is years," she explained, charts rustling. "But there's a clinical trial in Zurich, experimental regenerative therapy. High success rate for cases like his, but it's private pay. Upwards of $250,000 plus travel." Everly's stomach nodded. That sum was her life's architecture, the Columbus loft mortgage, ink and design residuals she'd invested, Jordan's gallery co-op shares they'd pooled for a future with kids, adopted, perhaps, or fostered. Selling meant demolition. "What's the timeline?" she asked, voice steady despite the quake inside. 2 weeks to enroll, or he's too weak. Ms. Patel's pen tapped, a metronome of mortality. Mom's hand trembled in hers. We have nothing left, Evie. The house is mortgaged to the hilt. Harlan's eyes pleaded, unspoken debts between siblings. That night, in a motel off I-71, Everly and Jordan lay entwined, the room's thin walls muffling highway roar. You can't shoulder this alone, Jordan murmured, fingers tracing Everly's spine. He's had years to atone. Why now? Everly stared at water-stained ceiling, Harlan's boyish grin from childhood flashing unbidden. Because I'm not him. Hate doesn't win by withholding grace. Dawn brought decisions, calls to realtors, financial advisors, Everly's firm offering a sabbatical but no bailout. Sell what you must, her boss emailed, but come back whole. The liquidation was a vivisection. First, the loft, listed at dawn. Offers trickling by noon from young couples eyeing its lake views. Everly packed boxes methodically, Jordan's canvases wrapped in bubble, their wedding album tucked like a talisman. This isn't goodbye to us, Jordan vowed, kissing salt from Everly's cheeks. It's a detour. Ink and design fetched a pittance, buyer a hipster chain diluting its soul, but residuals cleared the trial deposit. Everly's series prints auctioned online, reclaimed, fetching premiums from collectors who'd seen her TEDx talk on queer resilience. Each ping of sale was a gut punch, fortunes built on pain now funding its source. Harlan's discharge was a gaunt procession, wheelchair to van, Mom fussing over blankets. Airport bound, Everly drove, Harlan in passenger seat, silence thick as fog. Why, he finally asked, voice stronger off morphine. After what I did. Everly gripped the wheel, suburbs giving way to runways. You stole my foundation, but foundations rebuild. This is me laying bricks for both of us. Zurich welcomed with alpine chill, the clinic a modernist fortress of glass and precision. Admissions nurses spoke clipped English, forms a labyrinth of consents. Harlan's intake was clinical brutality, scans whirring, needles pricking, his flinches the only human note. Everly roomed nearby, Jordan video calling nightly, her face pixelated but fierce. How's the snow? She'd ask, staring from abyss. Days blurred into protocol, pre-op consults where doctors diagrammed cellular regeneration, Harlan's liver coaxed to heal via stem infusions. Everly walked clinic gardens, snow-dusted paths crunching under boots, journaling fragments, sketches of mountains as metaphors for isolation scaled. Mom video chatted from home, her Bible open, prayers softer now. Thank you for loving us still, Evie. Harlan's vulnerability cracked open in quiet hours. Over clinic cafeteria slop, soggy schnitzel and watery tea, he confessed debts. The store's fall not just debts, but his sabotage. Embezzling for bar tabs, alienating suppliers with rants on family values, hypocrisy. I hated myself most, he admitted, fork trembling. Seeing you brave, loving who you love. It exposed my cowardice. Everly listened, old wounds pulsing. You could have learned from me, not punished. But anger ebbed, replaced by pity's tide. They reminisced selectively. Dad's fishing trips, where Harlan baited hooks while Everly named catches. Summer fairs with cotton candy mustaches. Laughter came hesitant, then free, a bridge arching over chasms. Jordan arrived mid-trial, flight funded by her gallery's emergency sale, a piece Everly had painted their first anniversary, waves crashing into harbors. Her hug in arrivals was lifeline, body solid against Everly's fray. Missed this, Jordan breathed, and that night in their rented chalet, love rekindled with urgency, sheets rumpled, moans echoing off wooden beams, reaffirmation in every arch and gasp. The procedure day dawned crisp, Harlan wheeled to or under sedation's veil. Everly waited in pre-op, holding his hand till straps secured. Fight, she whispered, locket, returned fully now, engraved with chosen, dangling from her neck. Hours stretched, coffee cold, Jordan's text beacons. He's tough, like you. Success came via intercom, Infusions delivered, no complications. Recovery ward was a vigil, Harlan pallid but breathing steady, monitors a chorus of hope. Weeks in chalet isolation followed, physio sessions grueling, Harlan cursing through stretches, Everly coaxing with bad jokes. Mom flew over once, her presence a mending stitch, family dinners of fondue and frank talk, where she admitted, "I let fear blind me. Your love. It's God's own design." Jordan and Everly stole moments, hikes to frozen lakes, where they'd skate hand in hand, laughter echoing. Evening stargazing, constellations mapped as queer myths, Orion as outcast lover, Cassiopeia as resilient queen. Intimacy deepened, touches lingering, as if proximity to loss sharpened senses. "We're unbreakable," Jordan affirmed one twilight, their bodies silhouetted against sunset alpenglow, union a vow renewed. Harlan's gains were incremental, color returning, appetite stirring for clinic-approved gruel upgraded to raclette. Group therapy linked expats in limbo, his stories of redemption drawing nods from a British banker, tears from a German mother. "You saved me," he told Everly post-session, grip firm. "Not just body, soul." Spring thawed Zurich, clinic discharge a triumphant exodus. Flights home were buoyant, Harlan dozing upright, Everly sketching flight paths as lifelines. Columbus welcomed subdued. Temp sublet for Jordan's gallery space, Everly crashing on firm couches between freelance pitches. Harlan settled in Mom's spare room, AA meetings his new rhythm, job hunting with Everly's design resume tweaks. Rebuilding was mosaic work. Everly relaunched Portfolio online, Sacrifice series born of Swiss sketches, Alps as altars of atonement, selling to therapy centers. Jordan's gallery expanded, co-op walls now featuring Everly's trial-inspired abstracts, veins of gold through stone. Their home hunt yielded a cozy Victorian in German village, gingerbread trim a nod to Cleveland roots, backyard for pixel successors. Harlan's first sober holiday was tentative. Thanksgiving at the new place, turkey carved with steady hands, toasts to second acts. Mom brought pie, eyes bright. Jordan's family, lesbian aunts and trans cousins, filled tables with chaos and cheer. Everly watched Harlan laugh genuine. Barriers crumbled, her hand in Jordan's under tablecloth, love's quiet pulse. But trial's echoes lingered. Nightmares woke Everly, Harlan's porch silhouette, rain eternal. Jordan held her, whispers weaving spells. "You gave grace. Now receive it." Harlan sought amends formally. Letter hand-delivered, pages thick with regret, read aloud over coffee. "I stole your youth. Let me guard your future." He did in small ways, volunteering at the firm for queer youth outreach, his story a cautionary beacon. Everly mentored a teen exile, mirroring her 17-year-old self, Jordan co-facilitating art workshops. Their life wove richer. Adoption classes started, dreams of little ones with Jordan's eyes, Everly's fire. One anniversary, lakeside picnic echoing proposals past, Everly gifted Harlan a custom piece, locket replica, inside engraved, rebuilt together. His hug was bare tight, tears unashamed. "Love you, sis." Always did. Under willows, Jordan pulled Everly close, kiss deepening with promise. In the dance of reclaimed lives, sacrifice wasn't loss, but the forge of unbreakable bonds, where queer hearts, once stolen, shone eternal. Everly's exile began not with a bang, but a whimper, the Corolla's engines sputtering to life, taillights fading into rain-veiled streets, leaving Elm Street a smear of sodium and sorrow. Mia's hand was warm on her thigh, a anchor in the storm, but Everly's chest heaved with sobs that fogged the windows. 17 felt ancient that night, innocence stripped like bark from a lightning-struck tree. "Where to?" Mia asked, voice small against the wiper's thwack. "Your place," Everly managed, though the Ramirez home loomed as temporary as borrowed time. Rosa met them at the door, robe clutched, eyes scanning Everly's drenched form. No questions, Just a towel and hot cocoa, Carlos grumbling about damn Harpers as he fetched blankets. The basement was a cocoon, twin beds pushed together, posters of Che Guevara glaring revolutionary judgment. Mia's arms enveloped her, kisses soft as apologies, but sleep evaded, Harlan's bellow replaying in loops. Dawn brought pragmatism. Everly called the school counselor from Mia's landline, voice steadied. Family emergency. Need transfer papers. Classes resumed in haze, stares from former friends, whispers of crazy Harper girl slithering halls. Mia was her shield, lunch trays shared in corners, notes passed with doodles of intertwined hearts. But home was minefield, Rose's sympathetic glances turning strained, church flyers left innocently on counters, hinting at sermons on Sodom. Everly's first job was busgirl at Pierogi Palace, Polish joints thick with pierogi steam and polka music. Shifts started at 4 p.m., plates stacked till wrists ached, tips folded into a coffee can labeled Freedom Fund. Nights, she'd collapse beside Mia, exhaustion a merciful veil. Their love was fervent then, bodies discovering rhythms in dim basement light, fingers tentative explorers, gasps muffled in pillows. "You're my home now," Mia breathed, tracing Everly's collarbone, but the words rang hollow against eviction fears. Harlan's first contact was a letter, postmarked November, Mom's script overlaying his. "We're concerned. Therapy can help. Come home. Be normal." Everly burned it in the sink, flames licking envelope, ash swirling drain like shed skin. Mia held her through rage, their lovemaking a reclamation. Urgent, affirming, nails raking backs in declaration. Winter bit deep, utilities lagging. Everly pawned Grandma's locket duplicate, silver chain snapped in haste, for a space heater, frost flowers blooming on windows. GED prep was library corner, textbooks borrowed, Mia quizzing over vending machine chips. Aced it. Everly celebrated with a stolen kiss in stacks, but success soured when Mia's acceptance letter arrived. Kent State, full ride, dorms mandatory. "We'll manage," Mia insisted, but Everly saw the fracture. Akron's hour drive a chasm. Graduation night, cap tassel swinging, they danced in Mia's basement to Selena, hips swaying, tears salting skin. "Take Hierro forever," Mia vowed, but summer's heatwave brought the U-Haul, boxes labeled in sharp finality. Everly's apartment was impulse, $400 month above the laundromat, lease signed with barista advance. Solitude echoed. Pixel, not yet theirs, was a future dream. The rainbow mug hired her on spot, queer haven with chalkboard menus and open mic Tuesdays. There, amid espresso grinds, she served Lena her first flat white, banter sparking over foam hearts. Lena was whirlwind, 20s bravado masking 19 scars, Foster hops leaving her guarded. Their dates were dive bar poetry, Lena's verses raw as open veins. "I am the ink that stains the page, unerasable." Everly countered with sketches, capturing Lena's smirk in quick lines. Love ignited fast, Lena's loft a tattooed tabernacle, needles humming as she inked Everly's rib, a phoenix, flames curling possessive. College commute was brutal. Bus to campus, lectures on composition blurring into fatigue. Professors noted her talent. Harper's got edge, one scribbled, but deadlines clashed with shifts. Harlan's shadow loomed in mail, return checks, Mom's pleas escalating. "He's spiraling, Evie. For you." Guilt gnawed, but Everly forwarded resumes to Columbus firms, eyes on escape. Lena's steadiness cracked under pressure, canceled ink sessions for client drama, nights out stretching dawn. Fights brewed. Everly's ambition called running, Lena's anchors chains. The firm offer came like manna, relocation package, signing bonus covering first month's rent. "This is our shot," Everly pleaded over takeout lo mein, but Lena's eyes iced. "Your shot. Mine's here, inked in skin." Packing was purge, Mia's old hoodie shredded for rags, journals culled to essentials. Lena's goodbye was porch-lit, final kiss tasting of regret. Spiral's turn, she said, but Everly drove away, rearview claiming Cleveland spires. Columbus pulsed vibrant. Short North galleries, Goodale Park picnics. The firm was glass tower, cubicles buzzing with briefs. Everly's first project, Pride Float Graphics, earned nods, portfolio swelling. Happy Hours introduced Alex, curly-haired copywriter, easy flirt over IPAs. Their fling was rebound fire. Hookups in her studio, bodies frantic, but mornings brought awkward coffees, fizzling to friends. Jordan entered as mentor, creative director with quiet command, her feedback surgically precise. Retreat in Hawking bonded them, hikes where Everly confessed exiles, Jordan sharing her own. Kicked out at prom, tucks on, dates hand in mine. Campfire embers mirrored sparks, post-retreat dinner sealed it, injera shared, hands brushing intentional. Jordan's world was curated calm. Loft with turntable jazz, canvases leaning like confidants. Dates layered deep. Farmers market mornings, berries stained fingers, gallery crawls, critiques whispered. Love built slow. First kiss in rain-slick alley, tentative then torrent. Nights in her bed, explorations reverent. Jordan's mouth charting Everly's sighs like constellations. Harlan's calls resumed, sporadic. Sober streak kid. Thinking of you. Everly responded measured. Boundaries firm. Wedding bells rang metaphorical. Jordan's proposal under trailside oaks. Geodes glinting. Vows at Lakeside Chapel. Harlan's arm steady. Mom's tears cathartic. Career crested. Partner whispers. Series licensed. Then Harlan's fall. Voicemail quake. Everly's choice to save was seismic. Sales stripping layers. But Jordan's vow held. We rebuild grander. Zurich forged anew. Trial vigils, confessions cathartic, Jordan's visits lifelines. Return bloomed restoration, new home, adoptions dreamed, Harlan's amends tangible. In their garden, under harvest moon, Everly and Jordan danced slow, Harlan toasting from porch, to loves that save. Grace, it turned out, was the ultimate reclamation, stolen no more, but gifted freely, binding wounds into wisdom's weave. Everly's Columbus chapter opened with the firm's orientation packet, branded mug, lanyard keycard, a welcome lunch where small talk skirted souls. At 24, she was the new kid, portfolio clutched like armor, auburn hair tied in a professional knot that itched for release. The office overlooked the Scioto River, glass walls reflecting ambition's gleam, but beneath desks hummed insecurities. Her cubicle mate, Theo, a non-binary illustrator with neon nails, became fast ally. Girl, your reclamations? Chef's kiss. Spill the tea on inspo. Tea spilled over vending machine cokes. Harlan's purge, Mia's fade, Lena's ink-stained goodbye. Theo nodded, sharing their own binder troubles. Queer designs therapy, they said, co-opting Everly for after-work sketches at Scully's, dive bar with drag trivia nights. Laughter loosened knots. Alex reappeared as platonic wingman, his quips defusing pitches. Jordan's mentorship was subtle sorcery. Emails with refine this curve attachments, coffee run coincidences, evolving to lingering chats. 30's poise drew Everly. Jordan's buzzcut silver-threaded, voice a low timbre that commanded without volume. Your work sings pain into power, she said during first review, hazel eyes holding Everly's. Flush rose. Everly mumbled thanks, but seeds rooted. Hawking retreat was catalyst. Cabins rustic, activities contrived. Trust falls where Jordan caught her unerringly. Ropes courses where her encouragement echoed. Evening circle, flames crackling, Jordan's share pierced. Family saw my love as flaw. I saw it as fire. Still do. Everly's turn followed, voice cracking on stolen everything. Jordan's gaze a hearth. Post-retreat, boundaries blurred. Drinks to decompress? Jordan texted, emoji wink playful. Bar was dimly lit, Manhattan's melting ice, talk turning personal. Jordan's ex, a sculptor whose jealousy chipped their joy. Everly's spirals, landing soft here. Walk home was charged, Jordan's hand brushing arm, then lingering. At Everly's door, temp sublet with unpacked boxes, kiss ignited. Tentative press, then deepening. Jordan's hands cupping face, thumbs tracing jaw. Been wanting this, Jordan confessed, foreheads touching. Everly's yes was whisper, door shutting on loneliness. Their rhythms synced swift, mornings with Jordan's French press, strong brew and stronger kisses, evenings sketching side by side, Jordan's abstracts bleeding into Everly's narratives. Love was mature vintage, explorations unhurried, Jordan's body a landscape of curves and strength, fingers eliciting melodies from Everly's skin. Your poetry, Jordan murmured post-climax, tracing freckles like stanzas. Harlan's updates were backdrops, weekly check-ins, his voice gaining gravelly warmth. Got a gig at Home Depot, stocking shelves. Feels honest. Everly shared snippets with Jordan, who nodded. Growth's gritty, like good art. Proposal crystallized months in. Anniversary hike, trail dusted autumn gold, Jordan kneeling amid leaves. Geode's ring catching sun. Build eternities with me? Tears yes, embrace fierce. Planning was intimate. Venue lakeside, guests queer collective, Theo DJing, Alex best person, Mom and Harlan RSVP yes with trepidation. Ceremony was magic. Willows weeping petals, vows raw. I choose your fire every dawn. Harlan's aisle walk was steady, his arm a bridge, Mom's bouquet toss, tear-streaked smile. Reception dance till moonrise, Jordan's twirl lifting Everly, Harlan's toast slurred sentiment. To sisters who save fools like me. Honeymoon in Asheville, cabin nestled blues, days hiking misty trails, nights in hot tub steam, bodies slick with rain and desire. Jordan's touches worshipped, slow circles, gasps building to crescendo. Forever tastes like you, Everly sighed, stars wheeling overhead. Career vaulted post-wedding, series licensed to apparel line, tees emblazoned, reclaimed, at Pride Fests nationwide. Everly keynote at Outdesign Con, stage lights hot, words flowing. Theft forged me, love rebuilt. Applause thundered, Jordan in front row, eyes proud. Home solidified, Victorian purchase, closing with Jordan's savings matched. Renovations were therapy, Jordan painting walls sage, Everly tiling backsplash mosaic from trial shards. Pixel joined, Mutt paws pattering, harbinger of family. Harlan's stability grew, promoted to manager, dating a widow from AA, Mom's garden club blooming social. Visits warmed, barbecues where he grilled veggie skewers for Jordan, stories swapped of dad's quirks. Then collapse. ER call at 2 a.m., Harlan septic, liver rebelling. Everly's drive was blur, Jordan shotgun, hand clasped. Ward wait was eternity, doctors murmuring failure rates. Trial abroad, surgeon urged, costs astronomical. Decision dawn. Jordan's we're in this, sealing resolve. Sales marathon. Loft listed, series auctioned. Residuals liquidated. For the girl who lost all. Everly told bidders, bids climbing cathartic. Zurich Odyssey. Clinic's precision. Harlan's pre-op jitters soothed by Everly's sketches. Alps as hope. Infusion day, her vigil prayer-like. Jordan's arrival a bomb. Recovery chalet bound them. Physio cheers. Family fondues. Jordan and Everly's stolen saunas. Steam veiling passions reignited. Discharge flight buoyant. Harlan's color returning. Columbus rebirth. Sublet gallery. Freelance surge. Sacrifice exhibit selling out. Gold veins through scars. New homes garden party christened adoptions. Papers filed for foster to adopt. Dreams of tiny hands in theirs. Harlan's amends culminated. Co-founding support group, stolen homes, his testimonial beside Everly's art. One eve, backyard fire pit, he gifted restored locket, original, polished. Kept it safe. Like I should have you. Embrace healed. Jordan pulled Everly to dance, slow sway, love's melody underscoring. Sacrifice not end, but endless beginning, queer and kin, woven indelible. The Zurich Clinic's waiting lounge was a limbo of muted beiges and outdated magazines, air thick with disinfectant and deferred hopes. Everly paced its linoleum, Jordan's flight delay a fresh anxiety atop Harlan's fading pulse monitors. 25 felt like 40 that week, weight of worlds on shoulders once light with Jordan's laughter. Mom videoed from the hotel, her face pixelated plea. He's asking for you, Evie. Says he's sorry again. Everly nodded, throat tight, ending call to stare at infusion schedule taped to wall, Harlan's name slotted like a criminal's docket. The trial was Hail Mary. Stem cells engineered to regenerate hepatic tissue, success 70% in trials, but his case complicated by comorbidity ghosts. Doctors, Swiss precise in accents, warned. Rejection risk high. Family, support critical. Support was Everly's currency, spent freely now. Post-discharge from Cleveland Mercy, Harlan's ambulance transfer had been convoy, Everly driving Mom's old sedan, Jordan coordinating flights, suitcases packed with essentials and regrets. Airport goodbyes were tear-salted, Theo hugging fierce, slay this queen, Alex slipping cash for schnitzel bribes. Flight economy was economy of spirit, Harlan medicated drowsy, Everly's tray table sketchpad filling with jagged lines, mountains as barricades, rivers as veins. Jordan's texts anchored. Turbulence passes. Love doesn't. Customs cleared to clinic shuttle, Alps rising majestic mockery, untouchable beauty amid human frailty. Intake was disassembly. Harlan stripped to gown, vitals probed, psych eval unearthing Harlan's underbelly, alcohol as self-flagellation for failing protector. I pushed you away to keep the myth alive, he confessed to shrink, Everly eavesdropping hall-shadowed. Her heart clenched, myth of unbreakable brother, shattered by his own hammer. Pre-op days were regimented torture. Low-sodium diets Harlan grumbled through, physio walks clinic corridors, Everly arm in arm, steps sinking tentative. Remember Dad's victory laps after games? He wheezed, lap completed. Laughter bubbled, fragile bubble. Jordan landed evening 3. Taxi pulling chalet ward, her duffel thumping threshold. Missed my artist, she said, pulling Everly into depths, kiss hungry, hands roaming familiar territories, chalet's pine scent mingling with desire. Harlan room adjacent knocked later. Walls thin. Keep it PG. Grin crooked, ice broken. Trial eve, family huddled. Mom's rosary beads clicking, Everly's locket chain twisted, Jordan's geodes ring glinting resolve. Harlan's eyes, clear of haze, locked Everly's. If I don't wake. No, I love the you are. Words hung, sacrament. Everly's you will fierce mantra. Or morning, gurney wheels squeaked dirge, Everly's kiss to forehead lingering. Waiting room vigil, Jordan's hand interlaced, Mom's prayers murmured, coffee vending bitter. Hours dilated, lunch untouched, texts to Theo updates. In surgery. Holding. Success pinged via pager. Infusions complete. Stable. Relief crashed wave-like. Tears mingling hugs. Recovery ICU was glass-walled watch. Harlan intubated initial, then extubated gasping. Everly's face first he saw. Ev. Thanks. Weak but there. Chalet phase was cocoon. Nurse visits thrice daily. Harlan's mobility marches snow-shoveled paths. Everly's stopwatch ing progress. Jordan's presence gilded. Grocery runs for forbidden fruits. Chocolate smuggled. Game nights with Swiss cards. Laughter echoing rafters. Intimacy for Everly Jordan was chalet's hearth. Bundled under quilts. Touches exploratory. Whispers weaving futures amid Harlan's snores. Mom's visit mid-month was thaw. Flight's economy, her suitcase stuffed deviled eggs for strength. Dinner's familial, raclette bubbling, stories unearthed. Dad's secret soft spot for show tunes, Harlan's childhood list mimicking. I was blind, Mom admitted post-meal, Everly's hand in hers. Your love opened eyes. Harlan's confessions deepened therapy mandated. Bar fights post-Everly's exit. Wife's departure citing his hate's infection. I projected my fears, being different in a mill town that chewed queers. Everly shared her spirals, Mia, Lena, voice steady. Each break built me broader. Jordan facilitated, her therapist training subtle prompts. Complications spiked week 4. Mild rejection, fever spiking, clinic readmit dash. Everly's panic crested, steroids IV'd, monitors frantic, but resolved. Harlan's close call, Rye post-crisis. Bond solidified, sibling walks now unassisted, talks turning dreams. His co-op vision for hardware revival, Everly's foster plans. Jordan and Everly's love flourished, adversity fed. Alpine drives, hands dashboard linked, cabin saunas, steam-shrouded unions, bodies slick celebration. You're my north, Jordan gasped once, peaks shuddering shared. Discharge dawn triumphant, papers signed, Harlan's discharge summary touting, remarkable regeneration. Flight home buoyant, economy upgraded by points, Harlan window-gazing clouds. Columbus tarmac, Theo's sign, Harper heroes, group hug enveloping. Re-entry was recalibration, Harlan bumped moms, job hunt reignited, Everly's firm sabbatical extended, freelance sacrifice, pitches pouring. Jordan's gallery hummed, sublet tenants vacating for home reclaim. Liquidations void filled slow, loft sold to couple starting over, echoes of Everly's start, series residuals seeded emergency fund. New Victorian breath life, paint fumes festive, furniture scavenged eclectic. First dinner party, Harlan guest of honor, veggie lasagna Jordan's specialty, toasts to lives remade. Mom's contribution apple crisp, Harlan's anecdote AA humor landing laughs. Nightmares persisted Everly's, rain driveway loops, but Jordan's arms exorcised, love-making affirmation, slow grinds, eyes locked, safe here. Harlan's group launch stolen homes drew dozens as lead. I was thief, now steward. Everly's murals backdrop, art healing communal. Adoption orientation stirred souls. Classes on trauma bonds, home studies probing. Ready? Jordan asked, paperwork signed, twin names. Everly's yes, kiss sealed. Harvest Eve, garden firelit, Harlan arrived pie-bearing, Mom arm-linked. Stories circled flames, losses, loves, ending Harlan's. Everly sold her world for mine. That's grace. Toast rose, Everly's eyes on Jordan's, fireflies winking approval. In that glow, sacrifice transmuted, not burden, but bridge, gay heart's gift, saving not just kin, but self anew, romantic, resilient, redeemed. Recovery's rhythm in the chalet was a symphony of small victories. Harlan's first unassisted step across the wool rug, the color creeping back into his cheeks like dawn on snowfields, Everly's sketches piling like offerings on the oak table. At 25, Everly had mastered reinvention, but this phase demanded nuance, balancing Harlan's fragility with Jordan's homesick sighs, Mom's hovering like a moth to the clinic's flame. The Alps outside framed it all, jagged sentinels reminding that peaks demand climbs. Morning started with physio, Harlan grunting through leg lifts, Everly counting reps with exaggerated cheer, Jordan timing with her phone's stopwatch app. 10 more, bro-in-law. Jordan teased, her buzz cut tousled from sleep, earning Harlan's bark laugh. Breakfast followed, muesli and yogurt, Harlan's fork scraping bowl with renewed vigor, conversations meandering from Swiss efficiency to Cleveland Brown's woes. Miss my terrible towel, he muttered, Everly promising one airmailed. Afternoons freed for exploration, Everly and Jordan bundling into coats, scarves trailing like banners, leaving Harlan napping to nurse's watch. Tram rides to Lucerne, cobbled streets slick with melt, hands clasped against chill. Cafes steamed with fondue pots, cheese strings pulling like heart tethers. Jordan's hazel eyes sparkled over wine. This detour's gift wrapping us tighter. Evenings, chalet, hearth crackled, board games unfolding. Monopoly Swiss edition, Harlan bankrupting Everly with hotel empires, laughter echoing beams. Mom's arrival mid-February was emotional equator. Airport pickup tearful, her coat dusted snow, suitcase wheels rumbling resolve. Brought your favorites, she announced, unpacking Tupperware of deviled eggs and ambrosia salad, American anchors in foreign seas. Dinners became rituals, raclette wheels turning gooey, Harlan's appetite wolfish, Mom's stories thawing. Your dad would have loved this, mountains like his Kentucky hills. Apologies wove implicit, her silence post-exile, fear's grip loosed by time. Everly forgave in glances, hand squeezes over plates, Jordan mediating with gentle redirects. Harlan's therapy sessions, virtual now via clinic laptop, peeled layers, childhood pressures as eldest, dad's mill death, leaving him patriarch pretender. I armored hate to hide hurt, he admitted one post-session, Everly sketching idly, armor cracking to reveal heart. She shared fragments, Mia's basement sanctuary, Lena's needle catharsis, Jordan's steady harbor. Each love a lesson, you could have learned, not lashed. His nod heavy, doing now. Jordan and Everly's intimacy was chalet's secret score, stolen showers steaming long, bodies soaping slow, giggles muffled, midnight kitchen raids, counterperched kisses deepening to quiet moans, Harlan's door closed oblivious. One stormy night, thunder rumbling Alps, they made love by candle, Jordan's mouth reverent on Everly's breasts, fingers curling waves, climax a shared shudder against lightning flash. My everything, Jordan whispered after, limbs tangled, rain pattering roof like applause. Complications shadow fell week 6, labs flagged inflammation, fever spiking to 102, chalet ambulance wailing clinic ward. Everly's panic was visceral, gurney shadows Harlan's form, for lines multiplying. Hold on, she pleaded waiting room, Jordan's arms vice, Mom's prayers fervent. Steroids quelled rebellion, but scare etched. Doctors close. Monitors strict. Harlan's recovery redoubled, walks lengthened, Everly's vigilance hawk-like. Letters from home buoyed. Theo's care packages, rainbow socks, queer zines. Alex's playlists, alpine anthems. Everly responded sketches, chalet vignettes, Harlan's grin captured. Firm emails encouraged. Sabbaticals goldmine. Series 2 pitch ready. Freelance trickled. Sacrifice. Drafts emailed from chalet Wi-Fi. Buyers intrigued by backstory. Mom's departure tugged. Airport hug lingering. Proud, baby. Of all. Harlan's quip post-taxi, she softened, prompted Everly's, you did too. Sibling bond mended thread by thread. Shared podcasts on redemption. Harlan's AA chip pocketed like talisman. Jordan's homesick crests met with Everly's empathy. Video tours of gallery progress. Promises our Victorian waits. Sage walls hungry for us. Their love's depth plumbed in talks. Foster dreams detailed. Trauma training books poured. Names brainstormed. River for boy, sage for girl. We'll be the home we craved, Jordan vowed, ring finger tracing Everly's. Week 8, discharge greenlit. Harlan's lab stellar, physio cleared for travel. Packing was poignant, chalet broom swept, nurse hugs exchanged, Alps farewell hiked one last vista. Breaths fogging air crisp. Flight home was revelry. Harlan aisle seat, window clouds as canvas, Everly and Jordan middle row entwined, fingers laced, rom-com cued on shared screen. Columbus touchdown was homecoming. Theo's airport banner, regenerated rock stars, groups swarm lifting spirits. Harlan to Moms for transition, Everly Jordan to sublet, Gallery space cramped but cozy, bed nested familiar. First night, lovemaking reclaimed, Jordan's tongue eloquent, Everly's arches vocal, afterglow sighs sinking breaths. Rebuild accelerated, Everly's firm return lauded, sabbatical stories inspiring team huddle, sacrifice, exhibit booked Columbus Gallery, previews buzzing. Jordan's co-op expanded walls, Everly's abstract centerpiece. Liquidation scars faded, new savings seeded, loft proceeds funding Victorian down payment. Harlan's reintegration shown, Home Depot shifts to supervisor, AA sponsorship taken, dating app swipes confess sheepish. Mom's dinners weekly, Everly Jordan fixtures, recipes swapped, Jordan's quinoa salads mingling ambrosia. Fire pit eve marked milestone, Harlan's 6-month sober cake, flames dancing faces, toasts layered. To Everly's grace, he raised, eyes wet, Mom's family whole. Jordan's love's eternal. Everly's words closed. Stolen once, gifted forever. Post-party, garden dark, Jordan pulled Everly to blanket. Stars canopy, kisses stargazing slow, hands wandering hems, union under cosmos quiet. Sacrifices echo, not loss, but legacy. Lesbian love's light, illuminating kin's dark, romantic redemption woven eternal. Columbus spring unfurled tentative, dogwoods blushing pink against the Scioto's murmur, but Everly's return carried winter's undercurrent. Nights where chalet echoes intruded dreams, Harlan's fevered brow haunting pillows. At 25, she traversed continents of the heart, yet home's embrace felt provisional, as if the Victorian's gingerbread trim whispered, "Earn me." Jordan sensed it, her morning coffees laced with queries gentle. "Talk to me, love." Alps left frost. Everly thawed over breakfasts. Oatmeal bowls steaming, pixel underfoot begging scraps. "It's the what-ifs," she admitted, spoons stirring cinnamon whirlpools. What if the trial fails long-term? What if my selling hollows us? Jordan's hand covered hers, thumbs circling wedding band. Then we fill with more us. Paint, plans, perhaps a pixel sibling. Firm re-entry was validation vortex. Colleagues clustering cubicle side, hero tales, demanded Everly's anecdotes edited modest. Zurich's snow not spotlight, Harlan's grit the star. Project lead on reclaimed 2.0, landed, budget fat. Her visions of fractured families fused now priority. Sketches flowed lunch breaks, Theo critiquing over falafel wraps. Add queer icons, Marsha P., Johnson Mosaic. Jordan's gallery hummed parallel. Sacrifice, install weekend frenzy, canvases crated from chalet drafts, gold-veined Alps symbolizing sibling sutures. Opening night drew crowd electric, donors sipping Pinot, Harlan corner-suited awkward, Mom beaming beside. "Your heart's on walls," Jordan whispered pre-toast, her arm waist cinched. Everly's speech stuttered emotion. Sacrifice isn't subtraction, it's multiplication. Love's layered. Applause crested, sales tallied dawn, residuals receding futures. Harlan's orbit stabilized. Mom's bungalow base camp, shifts at depot morphing mentor. Guiding stalkers through lost tales AA honed. Dating ventured. Coffee with Elena, AA widow whose laugh crinkled eyes like dad's. Nervous as prom. He confessed Everly predate, her ribbing, where the tie I designed. Updates post, she's real. Sees past the wreckage. Family dinners wove tighter. Mom's kitchen, Everly Jordan contributing, Jordan's herb-roasted chicken, Everly's berry tarts sketched recipes. Table talk traversed, Harlan's co-op pitch to investors, Mom's garden club's pride float collab. Locket passed hand to hand, Harlan's fingers lingering. Wore it in, or your strength. Everly's what-ifs crested solo. Park bench vigils, pixel leashed, journaling spirals, Mia echoes in wind, Lena's ink fading but felt. Jordan joined one dusk, bench creaking dual weight. Miss the chaos? Everly probed. Jordan's head shoulder nestled. Miss you missing you. Therapy? My treat. Sessions started gentle, Queer counselor unpacking exiles PTSD, Harlan's theft as trauma root. Forgiveness frees giver, Doc noted, Everly nodding slow. Foster orientation deepened commitments. Classes on attachment wounds, role plays awkward but earnest. Home study probed, Victorian toured, closets cleared for cribs, pixel temperament tested. Ready for little hearts? Assessor asked, Everly Jordan chorusing yes, eyes locked vow-like. Exhibit buzz birthed offers. New York Gallery Scout emailing solo show. Podcast invite queer caregivers. Everly balanced, Jordan grounding, date nights enforced, highball bowling, gutters laughed off, Olentangy canoe, paddles sinking strokes. Harlan's milestone year sober. Picnic lakeside, cake lakeside dunked tradition. Elena arrived picnic basket, her warmth disarming. Mom's potato salad staple. Harlan's speech raw, sobriety's gift from Everly's grace. Stole her start. She gifted my end. Hugs circled. Everly's tears Jordan wiped. Post-picnic, beach walk. Harlan lagged with Everly. Stones skipped shared. Co-op greenlit. He shared. Excitement boyish. Your designs, logo, signage? Everly's yes instant. Sibling collab born. We're team again, he said, arms slung. Better version. Night fell star-strewn. Everly Jordan hammock swayed, bodies curled, kisses lazy trailing deeper, fingers denim denied, later bedroom fervent, Jordan's mouth worship, Everly's moans melody. Our legacy. Jordan gasp release, plans whispered. Foster first, then bio if fates align. What ifs quieted therapy tuned. Mia's holiday card arrived. Wedding photo. Baby bump announced. Everly's reply warm. Closure sealed. Lena's FB like on exhibit post. Comment proud inkling. Bridge unburnt. Adoption match ping summer. Siblings, ages 5 and 7. Trauma-touched but twinkling. Homecoming chaotic. Crayon walls. Bedtime stories Jordan voiced. Everly's lullabies hummed. Harlan Uncle Dutiful. Depot toys delivered. Park outings wrangling. Mom Grandma glow. Baking batches endless. Co-op launch fall fair. Harlan's ribbon cut. Everly's signage gleaming. Crowd milling tools and tales. Elena's hand his. Future hinted. Everly's keynote closed. Stolen goods reclaimed. Family. Fierce. Forever. Winter solstice fire pit. Kids bundled asleep inside. Circle tightened. Harlan's arm Everly's shoulder. Mom's cocoa past. Jordan's gaze eternal. Toast lifted. To saves that circle back. Laughter rose. Stars witnesses. In that warmth, Everly knew. Betrayal's theft long transmuted. Lesbian love's romance not just survival, but salvation's song. Human value etched indelible. Kith and kin harmonious. The Victorians' backyard had transformed from barren plot to haven by summer's end. Jordan's herb garden bursting basil and thyme. The kids' swing set creaking under sibling giggles. Pixel herding fireflies like errant sheep. Everly, at 26 now, surveyed it from the porch steps, sketchpad idle on lap. The pencils tipped tracing absent loops, as if mapping the improbable path that led here. Harlan's co-op grand opening was days away. Banners she designed fluttering in the breeze like flags of truce, and the air hummed with the kind of peace that follows storms. Tentative, precious, hard-won. Harlan arrived early that morning, Elena in tow, arms laden with co-op swag, tool belts monogrammed, Harper builds, a nod to their shared name reclaimed. Test run, he called, tossing one to Everly, who buckled it with mock seriousness, the leather creaking like old apologies settling. Elena, with her warm smile and no-nonsense bob, handed over a casserole. Green bean supreme, Mom's recipe. For the troops. The kids swarmed, ages 5 and 7 a whirlwind of questions. Uncle Har, can we hammer? Luca, the boy, tugged his jeans. Sophia, the girl, clutched a stuffed bear Jordan had sewn. Harlan knelt, eyes softening in a way Everly had forgotten possible. After homework, squirts. Deals. Mom bustled from kitchen, apron dusted flour, her transformation from fragile widow to bustling abuela complete, grandkids' energy elixir. Everly, taste this dough, she commanded, finger dab cookie soft, sweetness bursting. Jordan emerged grill mastering, apron tied low on hips, her laugh carrying as she flipped veggie burgers. Babe, your brother's eyeing the tongs like a threat. Laughter rippled. Easy now, the porch is stage for this makeshift family. Everly watched Harlan with Elena, their shoulders brushing casual, his hand occasionally finding hers, a quiet courtship blooming post-trial, roots deep in shared recovery circles. She's good for him, Everly murmured to Jordan later, as they plated salads, the kids' chatter a soundtrack. Jordan's hip bumped hers, conspiratorial. Like you're good for me. Full circle. The co-op launch was community carnival, Tremont streets cordoned, booths hawking power tools and potlucks, Everly's signage popping vibrant, logotypes of interlocking gears forming hearts, subtle queer nod in rainbow welds. Harlan at podium, mic feedback squealing brief, his voice steady. This place isn't just hardware. It's home repair for houses, hearts, histories. Crowd applause thundered, Elena's proud squeeze visible, Mom dabbing eyes beside. Everly, from wings with Jordan and kids, felt swell. Pride not solitary, but shared, her designs the visual hymn. Post-ceremony, milling throng, a familiar face pierced. Mia, older, sun lines etching laugh places, toddler on hip, husband hovering solicitous. Saw the exhibit promo, she explained, hug enveloping Everly warm. Had to come. You're radiant. Talk flowed surface, then subsurface. Lives diverged. Mia's teaching gig in Austin. Everly's Foster's gawking wide-eyed. Love suits you, Mia said, eyes tracing Jordan's approach, the toddler waving chubby fist. Everly's throat tightened. You are my spark. Grateful. Lena appeared serendipitous, ink arms bared in tank, portfolio under elbow. Scouted for collab. She grinned, hugging fierce, scent of fresh tat lingering. Your sacrifice? Inspired my new line, redemption sleeves. Everly introduced the circle. Mia, Lena, Jordan seamless, stories swapped like trading cards, laughter bridging years. Spirals do turn, Lena toasted later, beers clinking, Everly's nod profound. Evening wound porch ward, co-op afterglow fading to fire pit embers. Kids conked early, pixel curled Luca's feet. Adults circled Adirondacks, S. Moraes sticky-fingered. Harlan's tale turned reflective. Trial wasn't just meds. It was you, Ev, selling your built world. Why? Everly poked fire, sparks ascending. Because under the thief was my brother. Love doesn't ledger debts. Mom chimed soft. I ledgered fears, scripture oversight. You're Jordan. She's blessing. Jordan blushed, arm Everly draped. Elena added, redemption's ripple. Harlan's my safe harbor now. Silence companionable, stars pricking velvet sky. Later, bedroom hush, kids asleep hull down. Everly and Jordan undress slow, candles guttering, shadows dancing walls. Kisses mapped familiar, yet new, Jordan's lips collarbone trailing, hands cupping breasts reverent. My wife, my wonder, she breathed, Everly's legs parting welcome, union slow build to crescendo, gasps harmonized, release a wave crashing shared. After, tangled sheets, Jordan's finger lock a trace, our story's epic. Dawn brought routine sacred, coffee brewed, kids' breakfast chaos, school drop-offs tag-teamed. Everly's studio corner hummed, new commission, family portraits for co-op walls, Harlan's pose thoughtful. Firm promotion loomed, creative director Harper, title fitting like glove. Harlan's proposal to Elena came autumn leaf peep, call breathless, ringside sis. Everly officiated backyard, vows echoing hers, Willow's witnesses again, kids flower tossers giddy. Wedding small, potluck feast, dances cross-generational. Foster permanency, hearing sealed siblings. Judge's gavel, family. Papers signed, tear-blotted. Homecoming balloons, Luca's forever. Met Everly's absolutely. Jordan's hug enveloping all. Years layered, gentle. Co-op franchise budding. Harlan dad to Elena's twins via IVF. Everly's gallery solo NYC bound. Jordan curating beside. Kids milestones. First crushes confided. Luca's rainbow flag backpack. Sophia's art echoing moms. Decade mark exile. Lakeside reunion. Whole kin. Fireside toasts. Harlan, silvered but solid. Raised glass. Stole everything once. Gained universe. Everly, Jordan's hand eternal. Eyes on horizon. Loves the real heist. Steals hearts. Gives worlds. In that sunset gleam, story closed not end, but continuum, lesbian romances drama, kiths gay can, emotions swell yielding human harvest, forgiveness fertile, lives laced luminous, meaningful mosaic ever unfolding.